the one part in it that is just very much giving Busta Rhymes and Look at Me Now. or Eminem and Rap God. I was like,
you panicked for me because I like realized once we got it approved that I was going to have to do that live, and I don't know how I'm going to do it in one breath because it's so hard to do without doing 2 takes.
I'm Julia, and I'm excited. We are not only doing an Audacy Check In, but we are with an Audacy leading lady, and I'm talking about JAX.
What's up? I was like, is she introducing herself? Like I've met her.
No.
Hi, Julia. Hello, Audacy leading lady champ.
Yeah, so you're going to be performing at our Audacy Leading Ladies show on March 8th, which is really exciting. It's an awesome lineup, and I was so excited to see your name on there. How are you feeling about it?
I was so excited to see my name on there because it is an awesome lineup. I've been talking about this all day where I'm like, I have like a long empowering history when it comes to Ingrid specifically, where like,
she's great.
I mean, I love BB too. She's one of the I think one of the best songwriters of our generation. Marin's like just incredible. The line, I just love all these women. I'm such a fan, but Ingrid specifically, I had like met as a fetus way back when I was just like writing songs in Nashville, trying to be a songwriter, not knowing what I was doing. And she like welcomed me with open arms, and she played me some music, and she was just like smiling and gave me hope that like I can hustle this, even though I'm broke and confused and not sure if I'm good enough to do it right now. Like I could be like her because she's having fun and she's brilliant. Well, I'm so excited.
Of songs. You have a new one out in the world called Cinderella Snapped. When I heard this, I was like, JAX also snapped, because the lyricism in it, I could not believe like for how long the song is, like how much ground we covered in it.
Oh, I talk a lot. That was always my problem in school as a writer.
No, I meant that in a good way.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot because my writing teachers were always like, you're saying way too much. You got to trim this up and like get to the point. And I wanted to like tell this one as like a story where it starts with OG Cinderella and in her form that we know of, where she's just kind of waiting around for the prince and missing a slipper, and then it gets to the point of like, why am I waiting? And she finds out he was kind of messing around, which is like my own story. Right. And then she gets to a point where she just snaps. The chorus kicks in. She realizes she doesn't need a guy to call her baby, but she really needs a guy to equal pay her. And then we'll get to the prince later.
I screamed when I heard the equal pay line. Like I literally went back and listened to it. And I will say, like, swear to God, that was the one that stood out to me where I was like, she did not. Like, that is so badass. And when you said Jasmine made out with Mulan, I was like...
I know exactly the commenters I'm going to get about that one.
I love it. So
thank you. I was inspired to write this by my like very ahead of her time, Nana, who had rewritten my original Cinderella book when I was like mad that I didn't have a date when I was younger to the dance. And she was like, I was just so dramatic about like, he went with my best friend instead of me. And he said he was going to take me. And I was there without a prince. And she was like, what are you talking? Get the out of here. She took the book and she took a red marker and she starts scribbling all over it and literally rewrites the thing, crosses out all of the parts she disagrees with, like the waiting to be like the person the prince chooses to marry. She's like, no, prince does not get to choose who he marries. The princess could also choose. How about she cried about not having a pretty dress, the prettiest dress? She was like, no, she cried that because she didn't have time to study. Like she literally crossed out all the important parts. And when we found that book in storage, my mom found it cleaning out the house. And I was like, this is a really fun idea to write about. So the OG feminist, my unhinged Nana.
That is so awesome. I love that story.
Thanks. I just showed it to her like 2 days ago for the first time, and she was rocking out so hard. I was so stoked that she really understood it and that she remembered the book too. And she remembered the name, the Cindependent Woman.
Cindependent Woman. Oh my God.
She just said Cindependent. She changed the name.
I mean, that could be a title of a movie. She should copyright.
Yeah. She should actually copyright that. I got to call her after this.
Nana. So lyrically, this song is incredible for its own reason. But sonically, I was like, this is a banger. Like, this sounds like the part in the movie where like Elle Woods is running on the treadmill, like while she's studying law.
Yeah, that's exactly the goal. That was exactly it. I wanted to like get back to my roots of just like, you know, I love pop punk. I love guitars. I love like fun bass lines and stuff like that. And we played real instruments on this whole song. And then I'm really excited about it. So
are there certain songs that make you feel the way that you're hoping this song makes other people feel?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. I love a lot of Pink songs. I felt like very like Pink energy in the room when we were writing it, but it was like, I loved like Funhouse by Pink was a big one. I always loved the way No by Meghan Trainor made me feel, where it's like I didn't come here to if I want a man, then I'm gonna get a man, but it's never my priority. That one, that line, I'm like, oh, nice. It's like she's not like man hating. If she wants one, she can go and like that will be her intention. But really, it was just to go out with the girls and have fun. So that song I'll go with No by Meghan Trainor.
Yeah. Well, one last thing I want to touch on too is the one part in it that is just very much giving Busta Rhymes and Look at Me Now. or Eminem and Rap God. I was like,
you panicked for me because I like realized once we got it approved that I was going to have to do that live, and I don't know how I'm going to do it in one breath because it's so hard to do without doing 2 takes. I am not going to pretend like I did that in one breath in the studio. I did finally do a one breath version of it to see if I could do it, but it was hard, and there's no way I'm going to be able to do it on stage. I'm panicking, but there is a part in the song where I wanted to take the song back to like a real trigger moment as a girl. And I was like, I want to talk about real life, like what I hear in meetings, like when I want respect and I say like, hey, this is how I feel like I'm being disrespected here. What is normally the response I get from like one of the older men in the boardroom? It's always like, I think you're being pretty emotional about this. Like you're being too emotional. And I'm like, that's the trigger word for me. It makes me want to just throw the table on the ground, you know? So I was like, let's call her Cindy. Let's say that Prince is like, Cindy, sweetie, don't be so emotional. You're always so emotional. It's fine to be controllable. And then she goes into this like tangent about like, if I'm emotional, then this would be a good time for you to not trigger me because you're on trial and I'm going to use your legislation and cheating is treason. And so you might not want to mess with me while I'm emotional. Prince Charming.
I know. I loved like the legal jargon in that too. I was like, next she's going to drop the word affidavit.
According to section 4.4, cheating is treason. We actually, for the album artwork, I was holding a mugshot and it says charming, Prince. And then there's a penal code on the bottom of it. And we Googled the code for adultery in New York. And that's actually it is like the cheating is treason code. So
we love an Easter egg.
Easter eggs. Yeah. I'm just out here trying to be Taylor Swift and I'm not.
Well, it was amazing getting to talk to you. Congrats on the new single. Seriously. I love it so much. And I'm not even going to say I hope it does big things. I know it will. So I can't wait to see it do that.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm going to go drink more caffeine.